Crypto DLT with Mr. Connector. Be sure to subscribe. Hit the notification bell for daily content. Let's go.
Hey, it's Mr. Connector. Hope you guys are doing good today. We've got a lot of news stories to cover, but first we're going to check in on our connector coins. The market's been down for the past couple days, so we're looking at the 30-day rankings right now on the connector coins. It's really hard to look at the market on these down days, so we're just going to look back in time a little bit and just look at these returns. We're at 100% up on Gala Games and Near Protocol, and Electroneum's 85%, 84%. Guys, this is why we long-term hodl. Not financial advice, but we invest in long-term utility coins that we know will be used to make the world a better place. That's it. Now, this first piece I have is on the debt box case. This from Eleanor Terrett. New, a Utah judge has found that the SEC engaged in bad faith conduct against crypto firm DebtBox. The judge has placed sanctions on the SEC for abuse of judicial process, ordering them to pay legal fees, and denied its motion to dismiss the charges without prejudice, meaning it will not be able to refile the same charges at a later date. My, oh my. But Eleanor goes on to ask, what does all this mean? It looks like the sanctions imposed against the SEC here are monetary. The SEC will now be forced to pay the legal fees and court costs of both the debt box and the receiver. It's unclear how much those bills will add up to, but because the SEC is a taxpayer-funded agency and these monetary sanctions will come from the agency's 2024 budget, taxpayers will foot the bill. Yep, that's what we were just saying. Quote from a legal source who wished to remain anonymous, the SEC basically just forced a bill on the American taxpayers for their own unlawfulness. Additionally, Congress is finalizing the SEC's 2024 budget this week. A new big cost that would eat into the already fixed budget would mean that the SEC will likely have to get the money from either cutting programs at the agency or asking Congress for supplemental money to cover it. The funding deadline is this Friday. Wow, so they've only got a couple days to try to get that budget amended to cover this mistake. But we know they're sitting on a whole lot more money that they just don't want to come off of. They have plans for that money to hire lawyers. And to the right, we can go over what Metal Lawman posted. The judge in the DebtBox case has issued an 80-page opinion sanctioning the SEC. The opinion is devastating for the SEC as an institution and to the particular lawyers who committed the misconduct. The judge made it crystal clear that the lawyers did not make an error. They lied intentionally. And in an opinion that will surely be cited by litigants across the country for years to come, the judge found that the critical evidence the commission offered to obtain and defend the ex parte TRO lacked any base in fact. Yet the commission nonetheless advanced that evidence in deliberately false and misleading ways. The SEC engaged in a gross abuse of power entrusted to it by Congress. The SEC undermined the integrity of the judicial process, and the judge has ordered the SEC to pay the attorney fees of the defendants in the case. It's a sad day. The SEC was once a great institute. Well, I got to stop right there. I'm sure maybe it was before my lifetime, but there's been a lot going on in my lifetime, guys, over at the SEC. You can just look at the guy that tried to blow the whistle on Bernie Madoff for a decade before that happened. And they sat on it. They knew everything that was going on with Bernie Madoff. Think about that, guys. They did nothing to protect the American people. And speaking of SEC shadiness, I want to go over this ICO thing that a good friend of mine sent me. This is the Security and Exchange Commission's press releases. And yesterday, the SEC just so happened to have a press release ready to go about that ICO mishap. It says the SEC develops a specialized team targeting illegal ICO pre-sale mania in cryptocurrencies after a developer accidentally burns $10 million USD in customer funds. So now they want to go after the ICOs after they let all those Ethereum ICOs through the gate already. and all those scams. Now, you tell me if this sounds like it was even set up. Let's see. Jeremy Arnold has a pretty good take on it here. So lots of you are going to wake up with mentions of a thing called Slerf. For those not in the crypto space, I'm going to try to briefly summarize. Basically, a $1 billion flash casino emerged in the night after someone hit a wrong button. This is wild, guys. This guy and a small team created a new meme coin called Slerf. It has something to do with sloths, who knows. Anyway, they pre-sold half the tokens for $10 million to some 25,000 buyers. Then the other half were supposed to go on sale starting a few hours ago. Except the guy who created them accidentally burned and deleted the pre-sale tokens while releasing the new ones. Don't ask me how it works. I have no idea. He also already revoked his ownership of the coin, so he couldn't mint any replacements. So it was a permanent deletion of all the pre-sale ICO coins. The outcome was that the $10 million in pre-sale got vaporized. Everyone who bought in early lost their deposits and got no Slerfs in return. But this mistake was very good for attention, and attention is the true value of any meme coin. Isn't that key, guys? Attention is true value of any meme coin. I'm going to have to follow him just for that statement. And this attention is also given the SEC ammunition to further their agenda, which on this channel, we do believe in sensible regulations. That's the only thing that's going to clean up all this mess. But do you think we'll get that from the SEC? No. So the obvious thing happened, and the new tokens that were released shot up to around 5,000%. This was partially because people realized no existing holders had any coins to sell to drive the price down. The guy who burned the tokens then opened a Spaces call here on X to address it. It's hard to summarize how it went. Part Comedy Central roast, part tearful apologies, and part brainstorming on how to make the original investors whole. At one point, at least 15,000 people were in there. So already this is sounding really weird, guys. Part Comedy Central roast. Let's keep on going. This is gold. Also, his phone kept dying, so there were at least 4 separate calls. People were announcing live bets in the millions of dollars. If I'm reading the charts right, over $1 billion in value changed in hands in a few hours. Impossible to say how this ends. It's going up from 5,000% to over 1,600%. Some made millions and cashed out. It could all be over when more people wake up, or it could catch fresh life. A good reminder, though, is that there are 2 worlds of crypto, one with a bunch of technologists trying to create a useful parallel financial system, and the other is just a carnival of memes and degenerate gambling. How true is that? Wow. And that brings us right to Andrew Westberg's frustrations. He posts that meme coin mania is extremely demotivating to teams building real blockchain projects. Just putting this out there into the universe if anybody cares. I can only imagine being a developer and working your butt off, writing all this code, and having this grand vision of how a new financial society should be. Meanwhile, people are getting rich off of frog coins. Hang in there, Andrew, and keep building. There are a lot of people out there that realize what you're doing. Good on you, and keep it up, man. And speaking of developers building, we have Ripple posting. We are excited to share that we are Fintech Breakthrough Award winners for 2024 for Best Cross-Border Payments Platform and Best DeFi Infrastructure Platform. Guys, Ripple is a powerhouse. They have some of the best builders in the space. And let's check out the Fintech Breakthrough Award winners for 2024. For consumer lending, we have Core 10, Lawn Pro, Best Egg, Prosper, and Octane. And next is the business lending section. You can read through these. The wealth management section. Here's personal finance. We have Financial Finesse, Capital, Super.com, Aspiration, Origin, Super Money, Asset Map, and Zip. And here's retirement, digital mortgage, consumer payments. Here we have Pay Near Me, MasterCard, Sunbit, Vela, Clover from Fiserv. Guys, if you didn't know, Fiserv has the partnership with Metal Blockchain. So MetalPay is going to be implemented right into Clover, guys. We have Nexo and eBizCharge. Here's B2B payments, and there's Ripple for best cross-border platform. Here's point of sale, Veritone, MyPOS, and Hexur. Investments, just seeing if anything stands out to me. Financial education and wellness. On consumer banking, Chime, BankJoy, One, and FIS. There's financial research and data. Banking infrastructure, SoftServe, AMDocs, AirWallets, Obligo, Ozone API. And here's identity and privacy, fraud prevention, crowdfunding, InsurTech. This is a sector we need to keep our eyes on. InsurTech, we need insurance on the blockchain. There's your RegTech. For decentralized finance, we see that Medico won Best DeFi Infrastructure Platform. And you remember they were bought by Ripple, so there's Ripple's connection for Best DeFi. We have cryptocurrency, HTX, Coinbase, and Zero Hash, spend management and procurement, tax and accounting, banking as a service, and leadership. So there's a lot of sectors in fintech we just went through. I didn't even name most of the company winners. So if you want to do a little bit of research, go to fintechbreakthrough.com/2024-winners. And this is definitely some good information to be on top of if you're investing into this space. And speaking of building, we covered this yesterday, how Stellar has taken over Ethereum for the real world assets that are locked up on chain. And here we have discussing that is XLM, one ring to build them all. When it comes to tokenized real world assets, think Stellar. You do realize that Securrency made successful proposals for Stellar protocol upgrades, and Securrency are now called DTCC digital assets. The knowledge of DTCC is the beginning of why Stellar is all of finance. That's very bullish on XLM, guys. And don't forget about Empower's Freedom of Information requests that they made to the SEC a while back. And the SEC is illegally withholding documents that Empower Oversight has legal authority to get. Tristan Levatt says we gave the SEC a month. They didn't produce any documents. They didn't commit to when they would produce any documents. So now we filed suit. And here we have the federal suit, United States District Court for the District of Columbia, Empower Oversight, Whistleblowers and Research, Plaintiff versus the U.S. SEC Defendant. Guys, give it up for Empower Oversight. They are using our legal rights to go after this information that we deserve to know. The citizens must keep oversight on their government. We're the ones paying for all this bloat, so... And here we have ISO 20022. Let's do it. OKX Europe removes USD pairs in the preparation for MiCA regulations. USDC remains. Now let's see what kind of market microstructure changes that MiCA brings. Uh-oh, guys. Looks like Europe's trying to bring the hammer down on USDT. We would like to inform you that the availability of USDT trading pairs in your current region has been discontinued. Moving forward, only Euro and USDC trading pairs will be accessible for spot trading. And one more on BRICS from ISO 20022. South Africa to license 60 crypto firms by the end of March 2024. South Africa is positioning itself as the first mover in Africa's cryptocurrency landscape by preparing to grant licenses to approximately 60 crypto platforms by the end of March 2024. Guys, these countries are getting set up. They're ready to go. We're ready to go. Like the video, and if you're new to the channel, we'd love for you to subscribe. The future is bright. I'll see you guys on the next one. Mr. Connector out.